Welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Weekly Sting. I'm your host, Joe Hutzler. Happy to have you along for another 30 minutes as we have a great list of guests today, and we're going to get started right off the bat with field hockey's Lacey Elliott, who joins us here outside of the pavilion and right in front of Schellenberger Field. Lacey, thanks for tuning in and joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with the sport that you play right here at Schellenberger Field at home games. Let's begin with field hockey, and let's talk about the last time you guys were out in a competitive game. Of course, was this past Tuesday at a neutral site game against Lebanon Valley. Tough one for you guys, losing late in that one after having a 2-1 lead. When you see a lead fall like that late in the game and the other team comes back and wins, how do you register that in your mind when you're done? And the next day when you go out to practice, how much of that still carries over from the night before?
I think I try to look at it as just like not focusing on the loss and trying to look forward into the future and trying to really focus on how we're going to move forward. What happened in that game? I guess I should ask it. Yeah.
That you guys think was a contributor to the reason that you guys lost?
I think maybe after the first half we thought we had the game, and when we got it back we thought we had it. And I guess after they scored it was easy to just kind of accept the loss and not try to move forward. But I think we need to focus on just trying to not focus how much time is left and just trying to push forward.
Was there anything specific from a game standpoint, not necessarily mentally, but stuff you guys did on the field that you could improve on moving forward, or that maybe that you've addressed already in practice?
Really focusing on passing and seeing who's open and trying to look at the whole field and not just looking right ahead of you and looking forward. This
team is 2-2. They've lost their last 2 games. People can get caught up and they lost 2, they must not be very good. You guys are playing really good teams in the early part of your schedule. How does that help you guys move forward into the ODAC schedule, knowing that you've already played some of the top teams in the country, being able to come in with a confidence that maybe somebody else wouldn't because they didn't play those tough teams before their conference matchups?
I think Bridgewater definitely gave us a lot of confidence, them winning the ODAC last year and we beating them, so I think that really gives us confidence moving into the conference games and just trying to win the rest of those so we have a top spot in the ODAC play. And
I think every individual has individual goals. Obviously, the team wants to win the ODAC. Obviously, the team wants to have as many wins as they possibly can. But from an individual standpoint, sometimes it's some smaller goals. For Lacey Elliott coming into this season from last year and this very successful year, was there anything that you specifically wanted to work on to get better at for this season?
In the past, I can show that I've got the ball all the way down the right side of the field, but I really need to focus on shooting differently, because before, I think freshman year, just passing it across worked, and now it's not because they know what's coming. So I need to focus on different types of shots and just looking up and trying to notice where my other players are.
What are some of those types of shots? Because for those of us that don't know, field hockey is a interesting sport, and that you can only use one side of that stick to shoot and or pass. How do you work on shots, especially inside the box where it's so tight? How do you change the way you shoot other than just try and get it on net?
I guess one thing is looking up at the top of the circle and passing it right up for another player to take a shot, and then for me to get around and take a reverse shot where you swing the stick around backwards. That usually works. It catches the goalie off, and yeah.
Are you able to work on those with defenders from your own team in practice? Okay, that's good. And it's always better when you have a live opponent in front of you. Let's go to another sport that you play here at Lynchburg College, which is interesting because not everybody does this, but you also run track in the winter and in the spring, both indoor and outdoor. I want to know from your perspective just why you wanted to continue to play 2 different sports, continue to work all year long, and how one helps the other. So most people probably think of you as a field hockey player, especially right now this time of year, but how does track and training for track and going to meets, how does that help you get better at field hockey?
I think doing it all year long, the endurance definitely helps push me through, and then to the summer workouts for field hockey, and just trying to push through that.
What do you like so much about track that makes you want to continue to do it even after high school level and now into the college level? You want to keep doing both of those sports?
I guess it's more the individual factor of track. I mean, field hockey is all team sport, and track you're just focusing on yourself, except for relays, but yeah.
And you are on the relay, or you were on the relay team a year ago?
I was on the 4x1 and the 4x4.
4x1. Do you enjoy, or do you have a preference on indoor or outdoor? Does it matter?
Outdoor, definitely.
Outdoor, definitely.
Yeah.
What is it
the
about
track's just bigger.
That's what. Yeah, because we've had that conversation before with other track athletes, and they always say.
Yeah, I don't like the air and indoor. I don't. Yeah, it just feels
stuffy
better
and small.
outdoor.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk to Coach Reed here next, so we'll see what his perspective might be on that as well.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit different as a distance guy. Outside of sports, obviously you have another life. You are a student, and one thing that is really big in your life is family. And just like anybody else that comes here, they equate the field at Lynchburg College with family because they have a close family at home. One interesting thing is that you have a twin sister, but your twin sister doesn't look like you.
No,
so yeah, explain to me how that works if you can.
It's like 2 separate sacks, and then 2 different eggs or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, we're just.
But you were born the same day.
Yeah, we were born. She's 2 minutes older. We
2
were born
minutes older.
C-section.
Okay.
We were actually 2.5 months early.
Wow.
Which I was 1 pound and she was 2 pounds. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, like my mom could have had her 2.5 months later, but she went ahead and had me first, and then had her and then had me. But
that's insane.
She
Only
at the same time.
Wow, that can't
so we
even
could have been
imagine
2.5 months like apart and still been twins.
Right.
Yeah.
Still would have worked out the same way. Does she give you any kind of grief on the fact that she is a little bit older than you are?
Nah, sometimes. When we were younger. Yeah.
How many other siblings do you have?
I have 3 half brothers, 1 half sister, and 2 stepsisters.
Wow, you have.
And they're all younger.
You do
they're
have
all
a big
like 13
family.
and younger. Yeah.
So for you, when they're all younger, do you consider that a way for you to get better as you're obviously a leader in your house? Does that help you as an athlete too, having to mold younger players on your team?
My little sister, she plays field hockey, so I like giving her a role model to go by, and she really looks up to me. So
yeah, perfect example, perfect opportunity there. Well, last thing I want to talk about is go back to field hockey really quick. And we mentioned the tough schedule to this point. It doesn't get any easier. On Saturday, you guys are on the road against Mary Washington, a team that you were able to beat last year here at home. When you look at the schedule, when you see that coming up on Saturday, it's a 1 o'clock start, so kind of early in the day. What are some things that the coaches are saying that you guys really need to focus on to make sure that you come away still above 500 and not fall below?
One big thing is like positivity. After the losses, they had us come in, like we were just like giving each other like positive remarks throughout practice and not dwelling on any negative stuff throughout.
The mental game is always overlooked, but it's very important, that's for sure. Well, Lacey, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Good luck this weekend against Mary Washington. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will speak with Jake Reed, cross country and track assistant coach on the Weekly Sting.
It's on us, every Hornet, to stand up for one cause, to stand up against sexual assault.
To have the knowledge necessary to identify when sexual assault may occur.
To show integrity when confronted with a domestic violence conflict.
Where consent has not or cannot be given.
To create a community where sexual assault is unacceptable.
To provide service to survivors who need our support.
To embrace diversity and to provide a safe atmosphere for all Hornets.
Regardless of race, sexual orientation, gender, or ability.
To engage others on the importance of sexual assault awareness.
To value the tradition of standing up for others when they reach out.
To be consistent with our message, never wavering what is unacceptable.
It's on us to stand up to sexual assault at Lynchburg College. We are one nation, and it's on us.
It's on us. It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Weekly Sting out here at Schellenberger Field on a beautiful, almost fall afternoon. We are going to get right into our Hornets trivia question for today's show, and we're going to go inside to volleyball to get the answer of this one. And we ask you this week, about Jen Garrett, and we asked you specifically. She has 158 kills this season, on pace to finish with 428. That would only be good for second most in a season. Who is number one? Well, we'll find out in the third segment. Now let's bring in cross country and track assistant coach Jake Reed to the show. First of all, Coach Reed, thanks for giving us your time.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you having you on, and it's really good to have a perspective from someone in a sport that doesn't always get the headlines, doesn't always get a chance to even talk about what it is that you guys are doing. So you've had 2 chances to go out and see what your team's about. A pretty successful ODAC preview meet. Anybody that hasn't heard about it, you guys, especially as far as front runners and Josh Shaw and Samantha Schreiber, after the first 2, are you impressed? Are you surprised? Or is it kind of basically what you expected from your team so far?
I was really surprised with the girls. They really stepped up in the ODAC preview. Obviously, we are strong up front, still working to find that 5th and just progress in that manner. But the girls up front ran really, really well. As far as the guys are concerned, for us, that was a disappointing evening, I have to be honest. We didn't really follow the plan, and just talking with the guys, it's just going to be more about sticking with the plan for the season, what our goals are out there. And I know we can run way, way better than we did. So just trying to bring the team back to perspective on what our goals are and how we're going to accomplish those.
Are those goals sometimes tougher to convey in a sport like that, where you do get a team score, but it's really about the individual performance?
It is, and it's tough in the aspect of even though it might be on paper look individual, everyone has to run to the best of their ability that day in order to succeed. It's also tough in a sport like distance running. They have to work together to run fast as well, especially when you get groups of runners that are used to working together at practice. If they don't go out there on that given day on race day and do it together, and they decide to just kind of try to break loose on their own, it can get ugly.
For you, when you look at where you guys could go, when I talked to you in the preseason, you felt really good about how things looked as far as getting back to what Lynchburg has historically done at that level. Does this team possess that? And do you think that you guys are pretty much as close, are you close to getting there early in the season?
Yeah, we're very close. Still trying to identify that 5th runner. That's a huge deal in cross country, because ultimately he's going to score the most points for your team. So those that don't know how cross country scoring is, it's kind of like golf. Each stroke counts for a point, so each place counts for a point.
Okay.
So through our front 4, we're very, very strong. We have a lot of talent that could step up in the 5th position, but just working to develop that. But yeah, as far as getting back to where we were, I feel confident we're pretty close.
Well, I know there's a lot of people excited to hear that, because it has been a while since we've been able to talk about that. And I want to go to your personal experience with running, especially long distance. Great times at Liberty University. You guys are Big South champions, a lot of individual accolades as well. When you take that, or how do you take that, I should say, that experience that you had there, which was a different level, the Division I, Big South, it's different than this level. How, as a coach, can you relay that to your guys and your girls now?
Well, the nice thing with running, a lot of it's just effort-based. So, what I asked them to do, they're completely capable of doing some of the same things we did at Liberty. Obviously, we're not going to have guys maybe as talented as your national champions that I was able to run with at Liberty, like Josh McDougall or Sam Chalenka, but at the same time, they know what it takes, and they're able to gain from me that knowledge and experience of what it took to get to that level. And now they know where the bar's at and how to get there. So that's really helped in terms of just having our athletes also be able to interact with some of those people and some of my personal friends, just to see, how they went through their college experience as well.
What do you do as a runner, especially long distance? How do you focus on improving? Because we can see it in sports like football and basketball, and they got to get in the gym, they got to lift. With running, I guess they just got to keep on running. I don't know.
Exactly. With ball sports, it's a skill set.
Right.
With running, it's fitness. As an athletes in other sports, you need to be fit and possess a skill set. For us, it's just about gaining fitness. And part of the thing as a distance runner, it's just your cardiovascular system, and that's one of the easiest ways to improve. Is the more you run, the better you're going to get. So just getting the guys to understand that we are capable of handling more and progressing it slowly and in the right manner, and concentrating on the aerobic development of our athletes has been huge.
Now, along with coaching, you also are a father. You also have a life outside of Lynchburg College. What is it about the balance of coaching and having a family? Because we hear it from different perspectives. Some struggle, some are okay with it. How do you make that work? And it's very similar to what we ask student athletes as far as academics and athletics, but a little bit more serious in the sense of a family with kids and of course the coaching side of it. So how do you balance that best?
Well, I'm blessed because my wife was a collegiate athlete. She ran with me at Liberty. She understands what it takes to be a successful collegiate team, and knows that the coach has to pour a lot into it, and she loves being around the team. Right. So we kind of do it together as a family, and it's kind of our ministry as well. And with college athletics, I also coach a high school club team. I literally live to work, not work to live. So it's a different aspect. It's one of those things. I get up every day and I love what I do. My wife loves what I do, and we wouldn't change a thing. That
sounds like a pretty good scenario to be in, for sure. From still running a side of things, you're still doing that. Some people will be done their collegiate career and that's about it. They're just going to stick to coaching. But why do you continue to run and push yourself individually?
I just enjoy it. It's not even the aspect of competing as much as it is just going through the training and just having fun and enjoying it with the guys. And I feel like I can bring a lot to workouts and stuff with the team, working out with kids that might not have a workout partner, and just helping the team along. And then also just testing yourself, seeing what's out there, seeing what you can do. And I've gotten into doing a lot longer stuff and just different elements of running other than just cross country and track from college days.
Was there a certain moment that you realized that you enjoyed running? I mean, a lot of people don't enjoy running. Was there a certain moment for you that you knew you did?
I don't know if it was a specific moment, but looking back on my life, just one example in particular, when I was little, I never liked biking, never really learned how to ride a bike, and never thought it was weird that when my friends wanted to ride a bike, I wanted to run with them. So that should be a turning point of like, oh yeah,
yes.
You might like this. But as far as I just started to do it to get in shape to play basketball, honestly.
Wow.
And I did that for a few years and realized I was good at it and just stuck with it.
Well, it worked out pretty good, and we're excited to have you here, and hope that it works out well for our athletes as well. So thank you for your time, and good luck the rest of the way.
Joe.
Really appreciate it. Coach Reed on the Weekly Sting. We'll be right back with Danny Rowe to talk about this weekend's schedule and a surprise guest. Stay tuned.
It's on us, every Hornet, to stand up for one cause, to stand up against sexual assault.
To have the knowledge necessary to identify when sexual assault may occur.
To show integrity when confronted with a domestic violence conflict.
Where consent has not or cannot be given.
To create a community where sexual assault is unacceptable.
To provide service to survivors who need our support.
To embrace diversity and to provide a safe atmosphere for all Hornets.
Regardless of race, sexual orientation, gender, or ability.
To engage others on the importance of sexual assault awareness.
To value the tradition of standing up for others when they reach out.
To be consistent with our message, never wavering what is unacceptable.
It's on us to stand up to sexual assault at Lynchburg College. We are one nation, and it's on us.
It's on us. It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
It's on us.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Weekly Sting. Happy to have you along for the second episode of 2016-2017. And the last segment, we asked you the Hornet trivia question, which was in relation to Jennifer Garrett and her awesome start to her senior season, over 150 kills, on pace for 420 plus. But we really want to know who is number one, because she's only on pace to finish second. Well, It is none other than our head coach, Beth Ellinger. Elizabeth Carter at the time. Now she likes to be known as Elizabeth Ellinger. She's finished with 478 in 2001, so she's still at the top of the list. Now someone at the top of the list of our LHSN analyst crew is Mr. Daniel Rowe. Danny, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. Week 2 of us being on the show together, and we want to focus on men's soccer first, because this is a team that last year we didn't really make a big deal about them losing the way they did, maybe for a day or two, but then it was back to women's soccer, and they're going on to New Jersey, and let's focus on that. But that loss to Virginia Wesleyan really stuck with the team. They didn't use it as a motivating factor, but they did keep it in the back of their mind. And right now, it's still early in the season, but they look different, they feel different. And I think for them, the biggest thing is they're just putting balls in the back of the net. They couldn't do that at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, they definitely struggled with that last year, but there's no doubt they have a bad taste in their mouth from the way things ended up. And I know what it's like as a former student athlete to be in that position and to want to get back out there and perform to the best of your abilities once again. And I knew they were chomping at the bit to get back out for this season, and so far they've really performed well.
Now we're going to just kind of wash away the Juniata game, because there's not a whole lot that you can pull away from a 9-0 victory when the team that you're playing is that bad. Mm-hmm. But Sunday, we were able to call the game against Greensboro. Real gritty game, real back and forth affair. Greensboro plays it tough. Officials got involved as well. When a team is able to win a game like that, where the officials aren't the best, where the other team's really pushing you physically and mentally, how, from your perspective as a student athlete, how much does it say about your team that you're able to come through in the end and pick up a win?
Well, a game like that, when you come out victorious, definitely builds your confidence. But the other thing it does, and we saw this in both games this weekend from that team, was their resilience and their consistency. They're continuously pressing on the gas pedal all game long, and they didn't let up. And that's a very promising sign this early in the season. Hopefully they'll be able to continue that. Now,
I want to ask you also from a student-athlete perspective, the traveling that the team's going to do this weekend. They're going down to Georgia. They'll play in Atlanta on Friday against Oglethorpe. They'll play in Rome, Georgia, in a beautiful campus at Berry College on Saturday. You've made those long trips. Mm-hmm. You've been a part of those where you travel down the day before, you stay the night. You're in a new place. It's exciting. You're kind of having a little vacation. How do you switch that the next day and focus on the task at hand, which is winning the game?
It's always nice to have a little getaway in between the semester to get out and go play the sport you love, and really that's what your whole trip is focused on. So really the biggest challenge is just trying to stay mentally focused for taking care of your body when you're there. Make sure you're hydrating plenty, especially when you're in the bus sitting a long time, and just stretching, staying loose, especially when you're playing back-to-back games. And then just staying focused for the actual game itself. You got to go out there and you got to perform.
Now, one of the other games that you're going to be a part of is this Friday, tomorrow. Women's soccer taking on Southern Virginia University, and they're finally back home. A great weekend last weekend for them, outscoring their opponents 10-0 at the Roanoke College kickoff. For them, do they look like a team that is just back to business as usual? Does it feel like a team that maybe is 2 years ago? You were here for that run, that magical run. Are there elements of that, or is this just wipe the slate clean? It's a new team, and they're just utilizing that new talent to bring in some fresh feels about what they can do?
Well, I think the game that they have this weekend gives us a chance to really just kind of shore some little things up here and there. Clean up a little tweaks and different things that that coach says that they need to work on, and they have that chance to do that tomorrow.
Certainly against a team like SVU, it's historically not great. The other team that you're close to is field hockey. They have lost their last two. They will play against UMW on Saturday. Outside of the obvious, if they beat a team that's ranked, that's a big deal. How big of a deal is it for them to win again after losing 2 in a row, and to an opponent that is a tough opponent, for their moving forward in the season and their confidence?
Well, this is definitely one of the biggest games, I think, on their schedule this season, just because the way the schedule has played out so far, and they're 2-2, lost the last 2 games, and this Mary Washington team is number 16 in the nation right now, and they lost to Lynchburg the last 2 years. And so I know they're itching to get back at Lynchburg, and at the same time, oh my goodness.
Hello, Elsie the Hornet is here. Hello. welcome to the show. Come on in here to the
What's up,
middle.
Elsie?
She says sorry to interrupt Danny, as she just so rudely did. But there is a purpose for her being on here. She is gearing up. She's been working out. She is gearing up for a very interesting and very great event this Saturday for Humankind, a nonprofit organization here in Lynchburg College. Elsie is going to go over the wall at the Bank of James building in downtown Lynchburg. Sort of like that, yes. Has not flown before, but she will kind of get a taste of that on Saturday to rappel. We should say that. We should say rappel. She's not going to fly over the wall. I know that you have a little trouble with your throat, so you're not going to say too much right now, but are you a little skittish about? Yeah, I thought so too. A little bit nervous about the rappelling on Saturday, but at the same time, I'm sure you're really happy that it's going to raise money for a really good cause in Humankind. She is all about supporting the local area, and you can get involved too. We want you to go to our website, lynchburgsports.com. We also want you to even just go to the link in the lower third here on the screen and donate. We need 10 people to donate $100. Donate, she says, you donate to get $1,000, which is our goal. We will say that Sparky at Liberty, Wanda the Wildcat, and the Hillcats mascot are all going to be there, and they have all either got to their goal or very close. So we're coming a little bit late in the game, but we know that doesn't stop our Lynchburg Hornet faithful. So we want to make sure that you are able to help Elsie rappel down the wall for a great cause. We'll be there at that time to, yes, see, she's already working on her motion. Absolutely. I want to ask you, Danny, while she's here, do you have any advice for her? You're someone who likes to hike. You're someone who likes to take risks. Any advice for Elsie in that regard?
Rappelling is one thing I've done just a couple times, not on a big building like that, just a few smaller walls. So good luck. I don't really have much advice other than just kind of stay close to the wall and you'll be good.
Well, leave it to Mr. Rowe for a confidence builder. Well, we thank you so much for coming on the show, Elsie. It was wonderful to have you on. Good luck on Saturday. Of course, we'll be there to cover that event for you as well. Thank you all for tuning in to the Weekly Sting this week. It's been a crazy one. We're ready for another one next week, same time and same place.